as you can see, the sauce has condensed quite a bit. I'm going to stir it up. Again, you can see it. You see the level that it has dropped. It's dropped approximately a half of an inch or better. So there's quite a bit of water that is cooking off of the sauce. But as you can tell, it's still watery. Okay, so we do have some cooking time left. So again, we're just going to cook this, and we'll stir it throughout the day. And then I can tell you exactly how much time it actually took to cook this. So, back to this. Okay, what I've done is I've taken the blender and I've blended that tomato and the garlic, the bell pepper, and the onion. I have a can of tomato paste here. I have some old sourdough bread. And when I mean old, it's just stale, okay? And I'm using that here, and what I've done is I've grounded some of it up. I have some fresh garlic right here. And again, our bell peppers are here. I'm going to put some breadcrumbs in, some Parmesan cheese, and then I'll add our spices. So, the spices that we are going to add are oregano, a little salt. As you can see, a little oregano, or excuse me, a little salt. And here's the oregano. Well, a little bit more than a little, okay? Now, okay, let me condense this down a little bit. That way you can see more. I've added a little bit of Italian seasoning right here. The Italian seasoning, all it is it just has a little bit more bay leaves in it, some thyme, some rosemary, and some sage. Okay? But I'm going to get into that here in a minute. Now, I'm going to blend my stuff up a little bit more. Just chop it up. Okay, now we're done. So I don't want to blend it up too much. I just want to, like a little chunky. Okay? There we go. I'll throw this inside, and that's going to go right over. As you can see, it's a little chopped up. Okay? I'm going to take this garlic that I have chopped up. Which is right here. It's real difficult trying to do this and film at the same time with a cell phone, but I'm going to do our best. Okay. Now remember, I've added garlic before into the sauce. I just added a little bit extra garlic just to have that crunchiness of the garlic throughout the bell peppers in the meatballs. Okay? Now, next thing I want to do is I want to add some Parmesan cheese to it. The reason for flavor, of course. We're talking about flavor. That's approximately a quarter of a cup so far. Okay, remember I have, let's see, I believe it was about 5 pounds of hamburger. Okay, so we're going to need something, we need to be able to flavor 5 pounds of hamburger with the bell peppers and the onions and the tomatoes, all of that other stuff. So You have to figure out what your taste buds are. Okay, so I've added approximately half a cup of Parmesan cheese today. Okay, and that was one of those panini breads that were stale. It was a sourdough panini bread. The meal. Okay, so again, I'm adding some Italian bread crumbs as well. Okay, approximately a cup, maybe a cup and a half. Okay, that way I can add that extra meat in there. Okay, then I'm going to add some tomato paste, not tomato sauce, tomato paste. And we've added the cheese, we've added the garlic, we've added one other thing I did add to the sauce before we blended it was a little celery top. I like that celery flavor. So I just took some of the greens off the top of a celery and I threw that in the blender as well. And that gives, you taste this is going to be one of the most remarkable Italian dishes that you've ever had in your life. You can't buy this at any store. You can't get this at any restaurant. This is a traditional Italian meal, okay? Now, and my grandparents were from Italy, okay, Sicilia, okay? So I've just kind of added to everything from my own personal flavors. If you like Italian food, guarantee you, if you've tried this meal one time, this is something that all your friends will tell you that's the best Italian meal they've ever had. Okay, it always happens. Okay, so back to this. Okay, again, salt, pepper, garlic. I'm going to add some rosemary that I have, fresh rosemary. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this rosemary. Hold on a second. That didn't work. Okay, so. Okay, here, I can do that. So what I'm doing is I'm crushing this up with my hand. I want it as fine as possible. So that way when I put it through the spaghetti sauce. So, and then you can see exactly how much that I'm putting in there for this amount of meat. Now, as you can see how I crushed it up? Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to throw it in top here. One more time. I got to put this down. Okay, so now we push the rosemary there. Okay, now we're ready to mix. So I'm going to go get some gloves. I'm going to put some gloves on. Then I'm going to start mixing this up. And then we're ready to stuff the stuffed peppers. Okay, and then I'll be right back. Let's check on our sauce real quick. Okay, so you can see how it's boiling up before I start turning it. So start to mix it up again. And I think you can see the steam coming off of it. Okay, so it's condensed quite a bit since we started this morning. And again, you see this the fire. It's very low because I don't want anything to burn, and I don't want to burn it too fast, and I don't want to cook it that fast that I just start having it boil all over and popping everywhere but where I need it. And that's like keeping it in the pot, okay? So let me turn this off. Let me go get some gloves. I can mix that meat up, and then we're ready to stuff the stuffed peppers. Okay, we are ready to finish up stuffed peppers. Okay, I left one stuffed pepper over so that way you can see exactly what I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little breadcrumbs. I'm going to throw some breadcrumbs over that, just on the top. And what that is, it's just going to kind of hold the meat and the stuff and give it a little crispier top. Okay, and then I'm going to throw a little bit of Parmesan cheese over the top, and I have all of those set. Let's just throw a little bit more over this one here. Okay, now we'll leave that. I'm heating up my oil, which is olive oil and corn oil. And then the leftover meat, which I made meatballs, I'm going to fry those up. Now you can bake these meatballs or you can fry them. I prefer them fried myself. it's for the flavor for me, and I like them a little crispy on the outside. And then they don't have to just sit in that meat oil while they're baking. At least this way I can go ahead and pull them out, and then I can drain them and so forth. They don't have to cook in there. And they come out nice and crispy on the outside, and if I want to throw sauce over them, I can. Again, this is a meatless sauce. Now, what I wanted to go back to is when I made this stuffing, I forgot to add the little bit of rice. If you look at it really close, I've added just a couple handfuls of rice to that. And what that does is it kind of absorbs all the juice from the meat and some of the other the vegetables and stuff that was blended up. And a little bit of rice, because I've already added the bread, the bread, the breadcrumbs, and all the other items. And we'll get into that after we're done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm looking for my oil to be hot. And I believe it's starting to get hot. What I do is I'm looking at it right here where it's starting to bubble. It almost looks like it's boiling. And then I can hear it popping. And then now you can hear it. You see how it's sizzling? So that's how I want my oil. Okay, so that way it doesn't stick so easily in the pan. Then I'm just going to take and go all the way around the pan and just keep putting these meatballs in. And then we'll get back to the outcome here in a second. And then I can watch it more clearly, and I need to have both hands able to, just in case I have an accident or something spills or something like that, I need to be prepared. Okay? So, again, that's important. So when you're cooking like this, or you're frying, or you're doing anything, if you have any small children around, you want to make sure your handles are out here away from the stove, so that way the child doesn't come by and grab it or something like that, because it will be cut about 1 inch, and 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. So I should get about 4 or 5 slices of eggplant out of that. So that way when I bake it, you can do with the eggplant. Some people like it fried, some like it baked. But we'll work with that today. And basically they're boiling. I'm going to check my stove. You can see how the fire is under there. I'm going to turn it just a slight bit, so that way I can keep an eye on it. And then at the same time, you can see how our sauce is cooked. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clean up some things. And we'll get everything, as you can see, I have everything set up. So I want to go ahead and wash up some things while we're cooking this. And then I can keep an eye on it. And then when we get done, we'll see how everything goes. I'm going to cover these peppers up right now. I'm going to stick them in the oven, and then we're going to come back to it.